what's up guys? Welcome to the video, and as you can see in the title, for the first time in almost 2 years, I'm bringing you guys a Q&A. So, exciting stuff happening today. I asked you guys earlier this afternoon before I went outside and did some cardio, which doesn't even make sense, but it is the year of coronavirus. Nobody's working, gyms are closed, and I'm outside running. What's going on? But, yeah, so I asked you guys earlier today on my Instagram, link down below if you guys are not following me yet, just at Tregg Fisher on Instagram. I asked you guys to ask me any questions, whether they are lifestyle, movies, workouts, diet, anything. Ask away and I'll answer it. And it's been a long time since I've sat down and talked to you guys just about anything. So, I'm super excited to dig into these questions and answer what you guys have to ask. So, here we go. Alright, so question number 1, White Russian LA asks, what's up? Honestly, not too much. We're on quarantine. I can't go do anything. I'm stuck at home, so I'm playing video games, watching movies, and drinking. So, that's what's up these days. Yeah, I'm probably going to start streaming though because I need some interaction with people, and I feel like if I'm streaming, I can talk to you guys and things like that. So probably later today, when you guys are watching this, later today, I will probably go live on YouTube and stream some PlayStation. So stay tuned for that. But I also kind of want to start a Twitch. Not sure, but I'm definitely going to start streaming on YouTube ASAP because I need something. I need something to do. Alright, so next question, the Modern Blonde asks, how old are you and where are you from? I'm 27 and I'm from northern Indiana. It's where I've lived for almost my entire life, unfortunately. So LizVit88 asks a really good follow-up question to the previous one. Why did I leave Florida? Now, I left Florida just because it wasn't the right time to move my whole life down there. Do I see myself moving back down eventually? Yeah, 100%. I definitely see myself living in Florida, or at least somewhere warm. I've had it with this cold weather. It was super nice today, but it's supposed to be really cold overnight, and then tomorrow's supposed to be like a high of 44. I'm not down for that. It's April now. That sucks. So I definitely don't see myself living in Indiana for too much longer, at least until like next year, because I still have a year left on my lease here in Mishawaka. But I do plan on moving somewhere warm eventually. But yeah, it just wasn't the right time for me to move my whole life down there with like student loans and things like that. I just felt like the financial and best decision for my future was to live here for now, but not forever. So yes, that's why I left Florida. Euphoria CBD asks, have you ever tried CBD? I have. I don't know what it's really supposed to do because I didn't feel any different. I know it's supposed to maybe like help you recover, maybe feel less sore, maybe be a little bit more relaxed. I don't know what it does, but I've tried it before and I don't think it did anything. Yeah, so they asked another question. They said, interested in making some extra money. We're looking for affiliates. I don't think I'm your guy. Sorry. John Meyer asks, what do you do for a living? Now, I've been a personal trainer since 2014, treggfisher.com for online personal training. I've been doing online personal training since 2014. I've worked in and out of gyms over the past 6 years now. But I primarily do online personal training, but I also work in a factory, just a very blue-collar job, makes really good money. It's not a ton of hours, so I have a lot of free time to do different things with personal training and things with friends and family in my free time, so it allows me a lot of the things, it allows me to do a lot of the things that I enjoy, plus it's allowed me to pay off all of my student loans at a very young age. It's allowed me to be debt-free and save a lot of money for future things that I plan on investing in the future. So yes, that is what I do. UAS.Adam asks, doesn't it get lonely living on your own? You always joke about having a girlfriend, but ... No, I wouldn't say it does get lonely living on my own. I've done it for so long now that, one, I'm used to it, so I kind of have my own routine. I'm a little OCD about the things that I have kind of organized throughout my apartment and just kind of the routine I have in my life. So, I don't know, the longer I'm single, the easier it is to stay single. But when it comes to being lonely, I find a lot of areas in my life where I can continue getting happiness from, and I don't necessarily have that void in my life that I need filled from another person. So yeah, I can find a lot of happiness and joy in my own life without having another person there. And when it comes to being lonely, like I'm very just naturally introverted, and I like being alone. I find a lot of contentment, and I kind of really thrive on being by myself. But yeah, I'm very naturally very, very introverted. So yeah, I enjoy it actually. So no, I don't get lonely. Skywalker501 _ST asks, what's the coolest and stupidest quarantine workout you've seen so far? The coolest quarantine workouts I've seen are ones with dumbbells, bands, actual weights, with people doing actual workouts with workout equipment. The stupidest ones are literally anything with water jugs and squatting with brooms and leg pressing or bench pressing a couch, or that dumb stuff. When it's not workout equipment, don't use it as workout equipment. Like, I just think it's so annoying, and it's people just literally dying for views and hits on their content. Like, I think it's so annoying, and it's literally all you see when you scroll through Instagram these days. Yeah, like, put your detergent back in the laundry room and go buy a dumbbell, Sally. Like, stupid. That's just my opinion, though. Stop it. X Tornado X Tyler X, alright, has a favorite Disney princess. I'm a sucker for some really dark, like, black hair, some nice tan skin, and my like first crush in that like tummy shower outfit that she was always wearing, Princess Jasmine from my favorite Disney movie, Aladdin. If you look like Princess Jasmine, hop in my DMs, because that's my favorite Disney princess. Alright, so next question, 1over1.co asks, who takes your portraits for your Instagram, and can we work together on a photo shoot? Yeah, we can work together on a photo shoot. Hop in my DMs or something, and we might be able to work something out. But honestly, I take 99% of the pictures on my Instagram myself. I literally set up my iPhone like right here on this same tripod I'm using right now, and I connect it to my Apple Watch, and I use my Apple Watch as like a little remote, and I can kind of see my actual screen on my Apple Watch and see what's in the frame, and that's how I take my pictures. An iPhone X, which is what I have, an iPhone XS, and above is going to take really high quality portrait pictures, and as long as you know how to, I always say this, a camera does not make a photographer. Like, you can give anybody the nicest camera in the world, and guess what? Their pictures, unless they know how to do certain things, are not going to look good. It's just that simple. Unless you know how to manipulate lighting, angles, depth, a subject within a frame, where to place them and things like that, unless you know how to do those things, then your picture is not going to look good. And if you do know how to do all of those things, you can literally use something as simple as an iPhone, which I use, and you can make it look good. And I feel like the pictures on my Instagram do look pretty good. I've spent a lot of time working on and kind of perfecting how I like my portraits to look, and as long as you know how to do those things, you know how to manipulate lighting and angles, you know how to put the subject in the frame and where to put them and things like that, and understanding depth and whatnot, like, you're going to take good pictures. But if you don't know how to do those things, a camera is not going to make your pictures look good. It'll be a higher quality, but it's still not going to look good, in my opinion. So, yeah, but we can shoot sometime. Hit me up. Danny _Fosani Danny Fasani. I hope I'm saying that right. Do you watch Better Call Saul? If so, how do you like season 5 so far? I don't watch Better Call Saul, but Breaking Bad is my favorite show of all time. I used to say Game of Thrones till season 8, man. But I would say Breaking Bad is my favorite show of all time, and I've heard Better Call Saul is really good. And I've got a lot of free time right now. I probably will start it and binge all the way through that, probably starting this coming weekend. So, yeah, so hit me up in like a month or so, and I'll probably be able to tell you. Of_90s_promises asks Ferguson or Gaethje. Ferguson all day. I'm honestly kind of disappointed this fight's happening, because if for some reason Ferguson loses and Gaethje wins, then Gaethje fights Khabib probably in like July. That's pretty soon, probably like August or September. But I wanted that Tony Khabib fight, man. I wanted it. Everybody wanted it. I think they should have just been patient, but hey, if Tony's ready to go and Justin's ready to go, that's a super exciting fight. So I'll watch the freaking heck out of that fight, and I think Tony Ferguson gets it done. Alright, so Nicholas_Morgan asks, which Harry Potter movie is your favorite? Now, it's kind of changed over the years. The further I've gotten away from the theatrical release of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, which is now like 9 years, but the nostalgic feeling of being in the theater, watching the culmination of the Harry Potter franchise, was something that really weighed heavy in my heart for that being my favorite Harry Potter movie. However, the further away I get from that, if I'm going to sit down and watch a Harry Potter movie, I will 100%, 9 times out of 10 is 90%, dummy. 9 times out of 10, 90% of the time, I'm going to sit down and watch Prisoner of Azkaban. I think it's the best one. I think it's the one that finally takes Harry Potter to the next level. It gets the series a little bit darker, more mature, and that's my favorite one. Prisoner of Azkaban is my favorite Harry Potter movie. Emily367 asks, are you looking for a girlfriend? I kind of already answered that a little bit, but I don't know if I'm ever really looking for a girlfriend. Like, if she comes into my life and makes my life happier, then she'll probably will probably be something. But I'm already a very happy person, and I don't have a void in my life that needs filled from another person. So unless that girl can come into my life and make my kind of like happiness level, like take it to the next level, I don't have any voids that need filled from that a girlfriend will be able to fill. So unless she's coming into my life and just making it better, I wouldn't really say I'm looking for a girlfriend. This is a good question. Dylan_Peter160 asks, thoughts on Blu-ray collecting while streaming services are becoming more mainstream. Now, as you can see behind me, I have a impressive collection of almost 540 Blu-rays here on these shelves. Now, there's a lot of money invested in this physical media, and most of these movies are available on different streaming services that I pay for. So, what are my thoughts on collecting Blu-rays? Now, in my opinion, it doesn't matter what your streaming capabilities are, what your internet capabilities are. I don't think the sound or picture quality gets as good as the physical media when you actually put it into a Blu-ray player and have it playing there on your screen. However, unless you are a cinephile like myself and you are very picky, you're probably not going to notice those things. So, for the most part, I think collecting movies and physical media is kind of a dying thing. But I still do it. I'm still adding movies to my collection very regularly. And it's something I will probably continue to do until physical media just kind of is gone. Alright, so next question. Darth Swade asks, what movie do you wish life was more like? That's a good question. Definitely not a quiet place. Definitely not Contagion, even though life kind of feels like that right now. Oh, man. That is a good question. I would probably say Detective Pikachu, because life would pretty much be the same, except we'd have Pokemon everywhere. You'd get your own starter Pokemon, kind of be your little buddy walking around. I'd have a little Squirtle right here. That'd be pretty cool. I think so. So I would say I wish life was a little bit more like Detective Pikachu. Yeah. Nick Smith 242 asks, have you ever worked with people with special needs / mobility limitations? Mobility limitations I have worked with kind of in the personal training realm. Special needs I've worked with kind of in the education realm when I was in the classroom, because I did go to college to be a high school history teacher, if you didn't know. But yeah, so in different settings I have worked with both. Timothy_17 asks, with gyms being closed, how have you managed to keep up with at-home workouts? I haven't. I've been pretty lazy, honestly. I try to do a little bit of abs every single day. I've been, once it's nice outside, like the past week, I have been doing like some walking and jogging and stuff. But outside of that, I've worked out a little bit. I've done push-ups and some other things, but for the most part, kind of just been chilling. Not gonna lie, I've just been chilling. Pictures of my film asks, do you think Hollywood is going too hard on making woke movies? I don't really know what that entails, but I do think that they are starting to lean a little bit too heavy into like having political messages or like different underlying things that they're trying to say that kind of overtake the actual story and plot. But I think film's always been doing that, just not to the scale it is today, because today we're starting to see it in like the new like sequel trilogy of Star Wars, for instance, with different things. But I think it's become a little bit more mainstream, but I think film has always been trying to be woke. But yeah, that I wouldn't say they're going too hard on it, but I mean it's definitely obvious. So yeah. Btuta 2001 asks, what's your best drop the mic moment? My best drop the mic moment. I guess we can do a little bit of story time here. So my first job out of college, I was doing landscaping. I worked for Satan himself, and I absolutely hated it. We didn't get along. He was super atheist, was very like demeaning to his employees, and back then I used to go to church all the time. I was involved in like youth group and things like that, so I would always have like my Grace Community Church shirts on and stuff, and like Access Youth Group and whatever. So I was a little bit more outspoken about like my faith and things like that back then, and he definitely targeted me because of that. And I had really had enough of it. So at the end, it was like middle of the summer. I had literally had enough of it, and it was like one thing happened where one of his favorite employees, that was a freaking brown-nosing piece of crap person, did something that I got blamed for, and I had enough of it. So I told him, I was like, I'm done. Like, take me back to the shop. I'm done. And he was like, all right, like we'll go back. So he goes and drops me off, and he's like telling me like how bad of an employee I was and everything. It's like, dude, I'm the only person that's shown up every single day on time all summer. Like, I haven't missed, I haven't called in, like whatever. And so we finally get back, and I'm like, dude, have a great rest of your summer. God bless. Like, whatever. Peace out. And like, he didn't say anything, and I don't know, like quitting on the spot like that, I think was probably like my best drop the mic moment. Like, I'm out, see ya, deuces. Because I'm not really that type of person. I'm usually pretty patient, but I had enough of it. So plus I was getting paid like $8 an hour, so wasn't worth it. So I would say that's probably my best drop a mic moment, but I don't know. So yeah, that was a fun time after high school. Zeke_said_so. Zeke said so. What movies do you recommend watching while we're all in quarantine? I think the best thing to watch right now on quarantine isn't even movies, it's television shows. Go watch Ozark, I've said that before. Watch shows like Breaking Bad. Go watch, if you're able to, like, stream Game of Thrones, even though the season 8 still a good show. But take advantage of the extended time and knock out some of these shows. I think you can really binge them like really hard right now. But movies that are good to watch in quarantine, franchises. If you haven't seen the Harry Potter movies, indulge. If you haven't seen the Lord of the Rings movies, watch those. If you haven't seen all the MCU movies, maybe catch up. Go through the Disney archive and watch things with your kids if you have those things. But I think there are a lot of really good movies that you could be watching that you might not have the time to invest. And I would say those are like franchise movies. When you have when you have less time, you're actually working, and you don't have this time in quarantine, then maybe like pick up a Warrior or a Baby Driver or movies like that you can just like knock out in a couple hours one night and then move on, rather than investing hours upon hours into a franchise. So I would definitely recommend diving into a franchise that you haven't seen before. Russ, not Wes, asks, is it okay to just hit my protein goal and fill in the remaining calories? I guess it kind of depends on your goals. You definitely want to be hitting your protein goal all the time. However, whether you're cutting or you're bulking, I really like hitting your protein goal is number one. But for me, I feed off carbs. Like, I get my energy from carbs. So I want to get in as many carbs as possible. However, I don't ever want to drop below 20% of my caloric intake coming from fat, because as a male, like, fat is does a lot for your hormones and things like that. So I don't want to ever drop below 20% of my caloric intake coming from fat. So if I can get as many carbs as possible, I hit my protein goal, I keep my fat between 20 to 30%. I usually aim for about 25% of my caloric intake coming from fat. Then I hit my protein goal, then I fill in the rest with carbs. So that's the way I do it. But yeah, so that would be my answer to that question. Corinna Gaffney asks, first thing you're doing / place going after quarantine? I would say the gym, but that's obvious. I would say going to the movies. Again, that's obvious. But one thing I want to do as soon as I can, whether it's July 4th week or whatever, I want to go back to Disney so bad. I know that I was just there like 4 months ago, 3 months ago, whatever. But the fact that I can't go right now makes me want to go so much worse. Like, the fact that Disney is closed right now breaks my heart first and foremost, because it's the happiest place on earth, and the fact that it's not open makes the world a little bit sadder of a place. But when it opens back up, whether it be in May or June, I want to plan a trip, hopefully in July, and go back, because I miss that place. So that's going to be kind of like my first vacation once quarantine is lifted. Reckoning87 asks, hi man, maybe you can do a movie night and the new Affleck movie, Role of a Lifetime, The Way Back, 9 out of 10. I've heard a lot of good things about that. Maybe I can do a movie night. I'm definitely going to start streaming soon. I'll probably watch The Way Back while I'm here on quarantine. So look out for a review for that, whether it's on my Instagram or in an upcoming YouTube video. Alright, so Nick_Ramsey3 asks, have you ever watched rugby? If not, you should. I actually have watched rugby, but it's only been in person. A couple of my friends from college were in the rugby club, so I went to watch them play a couple matches, but other than that, no, I haven't really watched it. It was entertaining while I watched it though, so we'll say that. Fontrell Gaden asks, favorite Power Ranger? My favorite Power Ranger of all time, without question, the Green Ranger and White Ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the Red Zeo Ranger, Red Turbo Ranger, and Black Dino Thunder Ranger. Tommy Oliver, played by Jason David Frank, is the best Power Ranger of all time, no questions asked. That's just a fact. I think his story arc from start to finish is great. I mean, his character didn't die after Dino Thunder, so like his character in the Power Rangers universe is still alive, and Hasbro has purchased Power Rangers, and they're planning on making some new movies not connected to the 2016 or 17 Power Rangers movie. It is going to be separate, but I would love to see them connect it to the actual Power Rangers universe. And I would love to see Tommy Oliver come back in kind of like a mentorship, kind of badass role where he's able to still like maybe morph into one of his previous Ranger forms, or maybe something new and cool. But I would love to see him kind of continue on as a Power Ranger in the future, because he does love it, and whenever he plays the role, he's super committed. But yeah, Tommy Oliver, my favorite Power Ranger. Spider Quasi 01 is showing love to the homies considered gay. It better not be, or I'm screwed. Alright, so Robert _Frost __long_ says, have you ever thought of power building? I'm guessing like power bodybuilding. I would say that's kind of how I already lift, because I'm very like into benching, squatting, and deadlifting, but I also like do a lot of bodybuilding stuff as well. So I would say that's kind of a bit of how I already lift. So yeah. Alright, so next question. Sydney Vanover asks, who do you have a crush on? Celebrities don't count. I think she knows who she is. Alright, so Mike Ebert 21 asks, favorite bro science video. So bro science is a YouTube channel where they put out kind of like spoof, comedic, fitness informational videos that actually do have some pretty good information when you kind of get down to the bare bones of them. But my favorite bro science video is actually before it was bro science. It was Dom Mazzetti versus Freshman, and that came out at the beginning of my freshman year, so I'm kind of like going through the freshman orientation stuff, and me and my buddy Dylan were like binging all of these Dom Mazzetti videos, and he drops Dom Mazzetti versus Freshman, and we're freshmen, and it just like hit right on point with like everything he was saying. It was hilarious. It is my favorite Dom Mazzetti video to this day. It's bro science, 50% fact, 50% magic, 100% results. Like, so quotable through that entire video. That's my favorite bro science videos. Before bro science even existed. It was back when it was just Dom Mazzetti. Freaking love that video. Heck G 209 says, if you found out that a movie you own is on Netflix, do you pop in the Blu-ray or stream? Kind of related to the previous question that we had when it comes to Blu-rays versus streaming. It depends on the movie. Now, if I'm watching something like Avengers, Lord of the Rings, big scope movie that is going to look and sound great with physical media, I'm popping in the Blu-ray every single time. But if it's something more along the lines of maybe, like say I'm going to watch Dumb and Dumber. I've got it here on my shelf. Say I find it on streaming. I'll probably just stream it. If something, in my opinion, isn't going to be improved because of the visual, like what you're seeing and what you're hearing with something like an Avengers or a big scope movie like that, or Star Wars, then I probably will just stream it rather than pop in the Blu-ray. But yeah, that's kind of what I kind of base it on when I'm thinking about what I'm going to watch. Alright, now last question. Big_Bert15 says, favorite cartoon. Now, I couldn't be wearing a more perfect shirt for this to be the final question. So, as you can see on my shirt right here, it is 90s Super Friends. We've got like Wolverine from X-Men, Sonic, Spider-Man, we got like the Tick, friggin' Darkwing Duck, Batman, Goliath from Gargoyles. My favorite cartoon of all time is actually on this shirt. It's Goliath from Gargoyles. Now, this show is super nostalgic for me because I watched it as a kid. I had the VHS of like the first like the first episode that came out, kind of when you're getting to know the gargoyles and how they got to New York and stuff. And I loved the show. I watched it when it came out in the early 90s. I watched the reruns on like Disney XD or Toon Disney or whatever it was called back then. But then it just disappeared. For like 20 years, it was gone. I don't know why they just stopped putting it on, but it was literally, it just was gone until Disney Plus came out, and it was back on the Disney Plus app. And you better believe, when Disney Plus dropped, it was like, what, November 17th or something like that, I forget the exact date. I watched episode 1 of The Mandalorian, and literally the same exact day. Right after I finished that, boom, started binging Gargoyles. I had it done in like 2 weeks, and it was 2 or 3 seasons worth, just slamming through those episodes. They're so good. I feel like that franchise, Gargoyles, is made to be kind of taken to the big screen. I feel like that would look so good. I feel like there's so much good story there to tell. I would love to see a live action Gargoyles taken to the big screen. But yeah, that's going to wrap up the Q&A. Thank you guys so much for all of your guys' participation and asking these questions. It was a lot of fun to sit down and talk to you guys and just feel like we're connecting again. But we will be connecting live here very soon, so make sure you guys go down, click that red subscribe button, and hit the little bell icon right there beside it so you know exactly when I go live, because I will be streaming some video games very, very soon. So go there, click the subscribe button, click the little bell icon, and I will be seeing you guys very, very soon again. But thanks so much for watching. Talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.